dicks, penises, cocks. Which one is a sporting store? You might find out, and I don't know about that, with Jim Jefferies.
You know, I don't think Dick's is a national chain. It might be. I don't know. Is it?
I think it is.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, I know it's Dick's Sporting Goods.
I know,
in Georgia
like,
and here.
Yeah,
So.
in the South, they have penises. Penises Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
Cox would be a sporting store, but only for badminton. You know?
Yeah.
Cocks
It'd be
and
called good
rackets.
cocks.
Rackets and cocks.
Oh, and also just for cockfighting.
Yeah, true.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and for people with Cockney accents.
All cock-related things.
Yeah.
Cockroaches.
Yeah, little basketball. You throw things in the cock rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
What?
Small animals.
Oh, for the cockroaches.
Yeah.
That cockroach is playing basketball, use a cock ring.
Yeah, cock ring.
Little ping pong ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
This works.
I think you're in Australia right now.
I am in Australia. You've probably read in the news.
In the trades.
Yeah. Probably seen
Jim Jefferies goes to Australia.
Probably seen the articles. I'm in Australia.
Things are going great.
You're doing a little bit of your mom right here.
I'm safe, everyone. Don't worry. No, I'm going off to Australia. I'm doing a whole lot of gigs there.
But you're here right now. How's that possible?
The tour sold out. That was pretty exciting. The tour sold out. And we got even we did a secret gig by now. We've already done a secret gig.
You think so?
Yeah. Is this out by the 13th?
Probably.
That'll be after the 13th.
Yeah, we did a gig at the Tarramara Bowling Club. It's
How'd it
already
go?
out. I got a okay. We haven't done the gig yet, obviously, because we've pre-recorded this. But I've had a phone call because I didn't mention the Tarramara Bowling Club. I said I'm going to do a secret gig in somewhere in Tarramara or something, didn't I?
Yeah.
On the Patreon.
I think you might have said your dad. I don't remember though. Yeah.
No, he didn't. He kept it secret.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever even said Taramara.
I didn't even say where it was, but word got out, and the whole thing sold out in about 10 minutes. The Tarramara Bowling Club. And I was
That's
told,
awesome,
I was
though.
told by, it's only 120 seats, right?
Yeah.
And I was told by my
Yeah,
manager.
that would be fun to see you in 120.
And I told my manager rang me up and they said, "Don't mention it again. We don't want that many people to show up. Don't mention them."
Why not?
Oh, they don't have security. It's a fucking bowling club.
Oh, like more people got it.
Yeah, if people just show up or something
Yeah.
like that, they're worried. So
Well, you just mentioned it again.
but
That's
no,
already
it's already happened. But yeah, my dad's and all the old blokes, they got to buy tickets first because they're members, and they didn't go that quick. It was when it went to the general public. But there's about 10 members bought tickets.
There was a flyer up there with the little numbers you can tear off. Like,
I bet
I call this phone number.
There's probably a couple of old fellas who don't even get along with my dad who probably bought tickets and then hocked them off. Probably scalped them.
Or they just didn't. They're like, yeah.
They're the ones who probably bragged about it.
Yeah, so we did that, and we did some other gigs, and I'm traveling around with the wife and the kids right now, having a lot of fun in Australia, soaking up the sun,
Eating some good food.
eating good food. It's actually winter there right now.
Yeah, not soaking up the sun.
Also, when do we get back? Hawaii, baby.
Hawaii.
We're in Honolulu and Maui doing shows.
Yeah.
They're selling well. That might sell out. So get your tickets for Hawaii because that's happening soon.
I'll
It's
be there.
already 70% sold, and this is being
Once
pre-recorded.
before, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I'll be there. I'm coming in a little early to hang out. Yeah, Maui is August 5th. Honolulu is August 6th. The Maui Arts and Cultural Center and the Hawaii Theater Center.
And there'll be other gigs at JimJeffries.com.
Yeah, Las Vegas right after that.
Oh, Las Vegas. Come out and see me in Vegas.
The week after Hawaii, you're going to be in Vegas.
Oh, oh my God. I got a fun month when I get back, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you got to go to Tucson.
No, Tucson's all right, man. I've had a good night out
Then
in
Palm
Tucson.
Springs.
Palm Springs. I was just in Palm Springs, just hanging out. And I had some people at the Tommy Bahama. I always call them Betty Hama. Tommy, where you get the Hawaiian shirts?
Tommy Bahama.
Yeah.
Tommy Bahama. And the staff there, I took photos with them and everything. And they were asking, when are you going to be here? And I said, I'm not going to be here. Sorry. And then I walked away and I went, I am going to be here. And I went back in and told them.
August 27th.
Oh, yeah, I said, I'll be.
Agua Caliente.
Yeah, I got it wrong. I think I said I was at Morongo, but they'll get the gist.
They'll figure it out.
They could put your name in Google.
Yeah.
But it's Agua Caliente Resort Casino Spa and Rancho Mirage, which is just adjacent.
I
to
might
Palm
go
Springs.
for a couple of days there, enjoy the lazy river. Or
Well, you're going to
whatever.
Tucson the day before, then so you'd stay the day after if you wanted to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There you go. So that's happening. Then our Patreon, subscribe to that.
Patreon.com/IDCat. Merch is at I don't know about that.com.
Yeah, there was a picture of a woman that had bought everything from the merch store.
Yeah, like the
And
sweatshirt,
podcast,
the
yeah.
hat. That
She
was
was
Melissa.
She was standing, she was next to the TV with the podcast on there.
Yeah.
She had like a mug, sweatshirt, shirt, hat. So Melissa. Thanks, Melissa.
MVP,
Thanks, Melissa.
dude.
Yeah, that's
She bought-
show bag worthy.
Yeah, she bought a ton of merch, and there's a bunch of merch there, fun stuff. And then follow us on Instagram. I forget the handle.
At IDCat Podcast.
Said it a million
It's
times.
only been 2 years.
Yeah, follow me on Jack. Don't follow Louise. Don't listen to Louise.
No.
Don't listen to Louise's podcast. What's
You
your
don't
name?
have to follow Louise.
Don't let him say it.
Louise will follow you.
What's the name of your podcast, please?
You're Not
Unsolicited
Down
podcast.
with Mike and Louise.
Edit that out.
Who's Mike?
He's the same co-host I've had for 2 years.
Have I met Mike?
No.
He's a dad now.
He's a dad now.
Mhm.
I've never met him.
He's changed him.
I've got no pre-reference. He would just be the guy that I met now.
Yeah.
Jim, remember when he wasn't a dad?
Imagine if
He's a
people
dad
introduce you like, hi, this is Jim. He used to be a complete piece of shit. But you're just meeting him now, so it's all right.
It's pretty good. This is a good time to meet him. You should have 2 weeks ago.
No good, but now.
He's a dad now. So if you're listening, Mike, we didn't say whether you're a good dad. You might be abusive. He's a deadbeat dad now.
Does Mike listen to the podcast?
He's going to listen to this one.
He's been a dad for like 2 weeks at this point. So if he's fucking up already,
He doesn't have all the time.
Why
with
is he
his
not
parenting.
supporting our podcasts?
Nah.
He's supporting you by supporting this podcast.
Do you and Mike, before he was a dad, did you go and did you go after the women together? Were we in a team?
No, he's been in a relationship since I've known him. So
And you're in a relationship too, right?
Mike's
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I just
Mike's
wanted to-
Louise's
knows
dad.
anyone out there. Yeah.
No, Louise is looking very handsome. I walked in today. You've dropped a bit of weight. You're looking a bit thin. Your haircut's on point. Who are you thirst trapping right now?
I'm going to Mexico in July. But also in general on my podcast, You're Not Down.
in July.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I have a video podcast as
so
well.
Mexico, lock up your daughters.
You got your haircut for July?
It's fucking still May, dude.
Yeah. Lock up your daughters. I can tell you where you can get a few cages. That's anti the cage.
Yeah, too soon.
I'm trying to stop the cages.
Yeah.
All right, let's
No,
start
okay.
the show.
Life can be overwhelming and many people are burnt out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, irritability, fatigue, and more. We associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause. Any of our roles in life can lead us to feel burnt out. BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life. I've had lots of stress in my life, a new baby, I've had work issues, I've had, I tend to focus on the bad, and that's not a good thing. And with therapy, I've learned to focus on the good and try to be a little bit nicer to myself. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off the first month at betterhelp.com/IDK. That's betterhelp.com/IDK. Today's episode is sponsored by Honey. Hey, Honey, how are you? Thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupons is a thing of the past. It's history. They'll be reading about it in history books. They'll go back in the day. This is true. People used to search for their coupons, and the kids in the class will be like, didn't they have honey? Nah, they didn't have honey. And imagine their minds blown when they talk about before the internet. Holy hell, Carolyn. Thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupons is a thing of the past. Honey is a free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one and finds it for your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 online stores, so chances are, if you want it, Honey has a code for it. How it works, right? Imagine you're shopping at one of your favorite sites. When you go to checkout, the Honey button just drops down and all you have to do is click apply coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for the coupons and finds the one for that site. If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch prices drop. How easy is that? You bought anything with Honey lately, Forrest?
Yeah, I bought this a microphone baffle thing, for voiceover work.
Oh,
Yeah, you put it behind the mic and then like, dampens the sound stuff. So I bought that and then little dancing coupon came down. Boom, save some money.
And that microphone does make you sound like a small girl, or what is that?
No, it just makes me sound clearer as this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is
You
still
can add
not
honey to your iPhone too. Just enable it on Safari and you can find the savings on the go. If you don't already have honey, you could be straight up missing out. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. It's free. I never recommend something I don't use. Get honey for free at joinhoney.com/IDK. That's joinhoney.com/IDK.
okay. Please welcome our guest today, Dr. Adam Case.
G'day, Adam. Now it's time to play.
Yes, though. Yes, though. Yes, though. Yes, though. Judging a book by its cover.
All right, it's Dr. Adam Case, but he said we can call him Adam. Just
I already called him Adam.
I know,
I took a liberty. Are you in America, Adam?
I am in America.
Okay. I was just because the jersey behind you is Australian green and gold, but I assume it's probably the unit. Is that from
It's black and yellow.
That's black.
Oh, okay. Smallest number I've ever seen. Yeah, the number 8. Is that a soccer jersey?
It is a soccer jersey.
Or is it a jersey from a university team?
It is.
Is it the university that you work at, sir?
No.
Oh, is it the university you went to?
Correct. Yes.
Are
It's the
they?
University
Also
of
has nothing
Iowa,
to do with the
I'll tell you.
topic.
Why would I know?
Well, I'm telling you,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm telling you, you're on the wrong track.
Yeah.
No, but he's got sports memorabilia behind him. He likes sports.
Wrong track.
It doesn't matter. That's how I get there.
Oh, you just want to get to know him. Okay,
Life's,
yeah, you just want to get to know him.
life's a journey for us.
He's getting the mind to spin.
I think,
There's an outlet back there with something plugged in.
Do you work at a
likes electricity.
hospital?
No.
Do you work at a university?
Yes.
Yes. Are you a professor of education, not medicine?
No.
You're a doctor of. Are you a doctor of medicine?
I am a doctor, not an MD.
You can
though.
tell him what you're a doctor of, actually. I don't even know.
Yeah, what are you a doctor of?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a doctor of Redox. Yeah. I'm a doctor of Redox Biology and Physiology.
Ooh.
Also, you said love, which it's on the right track
Yeah.
when you think conceptually.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a doctor of shagging? Are we going to talk about shagging?
Okay, well, you were warm, you got colder.
No,
No,
but that's
yeah,
what,
much
when
colder.
couples love each
Well,
other.
there's other things of love.
I'd love to say that was my area of expertise, but no, it's not.
You don't put yourself down. You might be a great bang. You're a doctor of the heart.
Yeah.
You're a heart doctor.
I just did this.
Close. Yep.
I
I
just-
researched the heart. Yes.
You research the heart, like emotionally or the actual organ?
The organ.
Oh, okay, I can tell you about the heart.
That's what we're going to talk about today, the heart and heart disease.
All animals have them.
End of episode. Thanks for coming here, Adam. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah. Dr. Adam Case is an associate professor of psychiatry and medical physiology at Texas A&M University. He did his training in redox biology and physiology and now researches how post-traumatic stress disorder affects the heart. You can find him on Twitter at Case Redox Lab. And he has a couple of charities that he'd like us to contribute to if you feel so. You know, a lot of people have books.
Sure, yeah, that's
Camp
even better.
Hope is for combat veterans with PTSD. That's ptsdusa.org/camp-hope. We'll put that link up as well. And also the Corgi Connection of Kansas Dog Rescue. So that is not related to hearts, or that is related to hearts. The corgis, you just like corgis.
Not related to the hearts, but somewhat related to the whole PTSD.
Yeah,
'Cause
people
it's
like
a dog
animals,
rescue.
man. They like
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah. But we're happy to do that. So
Corgis, though.
yeah.
You've always been fascinated by corgis. They can't jump up on the sofa.
They're so
No,
cute.
my wife. It's my wife.
Are
And
you
then
married to the Queen?
I have to be careful how I tread on that one.
It's Prince Adam.
No,
A
but
queen.
but we do have actually like little stairs so they can get up on the couch in the bed. So
Oh, that's nice to do that for your wife.
What is redox biology? You mentioned that. What is
yeah, so it's a fancy way basically of studying antioxidants and oxidants and kind of basically how those play a role in your body.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was like, what was it, like 10 or 15 years ago when they just started advertising things with antioxidants and we're like, it must be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
we
sounds
could-
smart.
I like
We could have a whole podcast about that.
I
Trust
like
me.
pro-oxidants. I'm not anti the oxidant.
Yeah.
I like the oxidants to flow, man.
It's a big debate in this country. So, I'm gonna ask Jim some questions about heart and heart disease, and at the end of these questions, I'm answering. You're gonna.
I've just had a flood of anxiety. I'm like, I've probably got heart disease. I'm going to find that out.
We're not doing any tests today.
This is actually, you've been too stubborn to go to the doctor. So this is actually just
Right.
a doctor's
Yeah.
appointment.
This is just a physical.
Your wife asked us to do this episode.
When I get back on the gear, you're going to have an intervention and you're going to call it a podcast. I'll be like, what?
That's a
Jim,
great idea.
We're all here
You'll
today.
be like, you're an addict. And I'll be like, I don't know about that.
This isn't a good podcast episode.
Yeah, I need money.
I'm asking him some questions, and at the end of those, Adam, you're going to grade him on his accuracy, 0 through 10. 10's the best. Kelly's going to grade him on confidence, and I'm going to grade him on et cetera. We'll add those together. 21 through 30, heart of gold. It's good. It's a nice one. You want that? Worth a lot of money too. 11 through 20, Kevin Hart.
Okay, I like Kevin.
Yeah, it's a good one too, actually.
Nice fella.
0 through 10, Hardy, har.
Ooh.
Hardy, ha, ha.
Like
You know when
Lippy
you
the
laugh,
Lion, Lippy the
hardy, har,
Lion, and
har.
Hardy Har Har.
Yeah, your joke. You
Did
don't
you
know
come out of that one with Jack? Was
No,
that
I
all-
came up
I didn't.
was-
I don't help with this at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know what today's topic
Jack
was.
doesn't do shit.
We just do this in my house.
All right. All right, Jim, here we go. What does the heart do?
Pumps blood through your body.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pump.
Pump. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, also it makes you fall in love and all that
Yeah.
type of stuff. No, it pumps air, it keeps your body oxidated and all that type of stuff, and it pumps the blood through your veins, and
Okay.
it's a pump
Where is it located?
in your chest, man.
About where?
Oh, just off to the left.
The left? Okay.
Yeah, just off center to the left.
How big is it?
About the size of your fist.
What's the shape?
It's not heart shaped.
Yeah.
It's more like it's like you know when you have a soccer ball and it's been filled with water and it's just sitting around the backyard.
No.
It's
I've got one
like-
right here.
It's
It's-
like $25,000 pyramid now.
it's oval shaped. It's
Okay.
you know what it's shaped like? It's shaped like one of the rocks
Yeah.
out of no. It's shaped like one of the rocks out of Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah, one of those gems. Those are- okay.
Yeah.
It's a good one. On average, how many times does your heart beat per day? Supposed to be doing the sound effect.
70 pulses per minute,
Yeah.
60 minutes in an hour, in 60 minutes in an hour.
Yeah.
And so 70 times by 60, help me with the math here, 70 times by 60.
420.
420,
No,
400,
it's 4,200.
4,200
Sorry.
times by 24.
No, maybe not. I don't know. Is it 770 times? I have a phone here. I can do it. You gotta just give me a number.
Yeah, it's 4,000 times by 24. That would make it 40 to 80,000. About around 100,000 times a day, depending on whether you fuck or you're masturbating.
Okay.
100,800.
I think you're close.
Yeah.
How many gallons of blood does it pump per day?
Oh, I believe there's meant to be about 9. I work in liters. So there's 3 point something liters to a gallon. There's 9 liters in the human body, I believe. Oh no, there's 12 pints. I'm going to say 24 gallons.
No, but like the whole day. It's not how much is in your body. It's how
Yeah,
much
the
it's
whole day,
pumping.
24 gallons.
So it only pumps it once?
No,
Around?
24 gallons.
No. So it only pumps all of your blood like around a couple times?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
only thin veins, man.
Okay. How many chambers are in the human heart? What are they called?
Yeah. The valves, I believe there's 5.
You know what they're called?
When you have bypass surgery, they call them valves. They call them
There's valves in there. You know what they're called? Or
No,
okay. Why does the heart have holes in it before you were born?
because of Democrats trying to abort you.
Yeah. Nailed that one. What
I
are,
was born with a hole in my heart.
what are the
Mom,
layers?
you've got some explaining to
Yeah,
do.
they're just little clothes hanger holes.
What are the oh geez. What are the layers of the heart wall called?
The aorta.
What is the pericardium?
The pericardium is the outer layers of the heart.
What system is the heart part of?
The vascular. system.
Okay. What are arteries?
Arteries, that's what I wanted. The arteries are the things that come out of it. You have a clogged artery. So arteries are the bits that fill up with fat that give you fucking heart attacks, man.
That's what they are?
Yeah.
That's all I do.
That's all they do?
That's their
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah, they normally pumping stuff through. You get a main artery. Okay, so you got your veins.
What are
And
veins? That was the next question.
So you got your veins, which are the smaller little things that you can see. And then your arteries are your, like, you call the veins the branches and the arteries are the trunks.
What about capillaries?
Capillaries are the bits that if you pinch on your skin, then they're just blood vessels can make it red. They're blood vessels of the skin.
Okay. How does a heart beat? Like what makes it beat?
Oh, what makes it beat? Hot chicks.
You know, it's interesting. When we were writing these questions, I was like, yeah, what does make a heart beat? I don't know. What is a cardiac cycle?
Cardiac cycle is how long it takes the blood to go all the way through your body and back to your heart.
And then when does a human heart start beating first?
Around, I want to believe, like 3 weeks after conception or something like that.
What is the vagus nerve?
It's that they think that nothing will escape there, that only information there, the nerve of these people.
What happens in the vagus nerve stays in the vagus nerve?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what an electrocardiogram is?
Electrocardiogram, is that the bit that goes clear?
I don't know. Is that your answer?
Yeah, clear.
Okay.
Poof.
What is the sinus rhythm? Is that your answer?
That's it.
Okay. Write that note down there, Kelly. He's breathing.
I didn't even see it.
He's just breathing. He's going,
Okay.
It's the same.
Heavy
It's the
breathing.
same rhythm of the song "I'm the Scat Man."
okay.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Okay. A couple more questions. How should a healthy heart sound?
Yeah, like I go to the gym every day. I try to eat well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the food you put in is fuel. If you put bad fuel into your car, would your car run good? I don't think so. It would sound really obnoxious
Okay.
and all that type of stuff. Now, how would it? What's the question?
How should a healthy heart sound?
Boom, 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 boom,
Okay. What's
Boom,
making
boom.
those sounds?
boom, 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 boom. Me,
bass.
I'm making it right now.
Okay.
The DJ in there.
What's making those sounds?
Your heart is the pump,
But what part of the heart?
the aorta.
Okay. Okay.
Word of the day.
What are some examples of cardiovascular diseases? And what would cause the specific ones you say?
Angina.
What causes that?
That's a heart attack that just creeps up on you and kills you.
Okay.
Clogged arteries, and that refers to you'll have a heart attack and you'll need a bypass to go past one valve to the other valve.
Mhm.
You can have a stent put in there. My nana, Betty Bell, lovely lady. Although she raised my mother, so she might have been a menace. We don't know. I only knew her towards
you pivoted quick on that.
yeah,
You're like,
I only knew
"Lovely
her. She
lady."
was very nice to me, but how does my mother and my auntie come from that lady? I'll never know. You know what I mean?
Well, sure.
So,
I
but
have a grandfather that was nice.
she had a thing in her heart that made her sound like she was an old clock. It used to go tick, tick, tick. And I think there was a valve in there that was moving like a stent or something like that. But she sounded like a clock all fucking day. It was really weird. She was like the crocodile from Peter Pan.
You could hear it.
I could hear
Outside
it.
her-
I could hear it outside her body at all times. You'd be sitting
Wow.
next to it and it would go click, tick, 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 like that. She just sounded like a clock. It was fucking
Wow.
bananas.
Okay, so angina, clogged arteries, anything else for cardiovascular diseases?
Cardiovascular, heart disease. Just regular
What
heart
causes
disease.
that?
You can get that from smoking or whatever like that, or toxins. No one knows, but it's like almost like cancer of the heart. Like it just
Mhm.
the heart gets all spotty and shitty.
What about total eclipse of the heart?
No, that's not a real thing for us. You're
Okay.
being ridiculous.
Sorry. All right, are you done?
Yeah, I don't want to be.
How do you feel you did?
Oh,
I
right.
don't even want to be around anymore.
How do you feel you did, Jim?
I feel like this isn't information I need, and I'll leave it up to doctors.
Hey, that's not a bad.
There's
bad
never
move.
going to be a time where I fix your heart, on my own heart.
Okay.
I've broken a few in me day, never put them back together.
Dr. Adam Case, how did Jim do on his knowledge of hearts? 0 through 10. 10's the best.
Started out real strong
Yeah.
with
Thanks, man.
the questions that I went through with the kindergartners recently, and then
Shots fired.
and then you kind of fell off the cliff. So I'm gonna give you a solid 3 out of 10.
Yeah, man.
Confidence, Kelly.
Smarter than a kindergarten.
Yeah. New show.
Today I'm going with confidence that he has heart disease, and it's a 10.
Wow. Okay. So that's a
Damn.
13.
Does anyone know the word kinder means children in German? Give me another point, man.
I'm going to give you 2 on et cetera because you're 15. I don't want to say the first thing again. So you're just going to be Kevin Hart today.
I like Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Hey, great bank account. Okay. So do we need to break for ads now?
With seasonal produce, premium proteins, organic ingredients you can trust, Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. Get access to unique farm fresh ingredients like figs, dates, and artichokes, plus sustainably sourced seafood. Green Chef saves you time by cutting down on weekly meal planning, prepping, and grocery shopping. Pre-measured and prepped ingredients come straight to your door, leaving you with more time to savor the sunshine. That's what I would do. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. Green Chef options for every lifestyle: keto, paleo, vegetarian, vegan, fast and fit, Mediterranean, and gluten-free. Whether you're looking for carb-conscious, gluten-free, plant-based, or calorie-conscious options, or you just want to have a delicious, balanced dishes, Green Chef has flavorful, feel-good recipes that are sure to satisfy. Go to greenchef.com/I-don't-know-130 and use the code I-don't-know-130 to get $130 off plus free shipping. That's greenchef.com/I-don't-know-130 to use the code I-don't-know-130 to get $130 off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
Hey, we're back.
What do I need to know what the heart does? Why would I need to know that?
Why do you need to know what anything does?
Yeah.
Just be smug around others.
This is like our 100 and something episode, and you didn't need to know a lot of the stuff on here.
Yeah, but a lot of the things, like when we did pizza the other week, I thought that's something I need to know.
You need to know pizza when you're eating it. I think it's good to know about your heart, like especially as you get older. You should know things.
Also, it's crazy that this is a thing. It's the thing that like keeps us alive, and I don't fucking know how it works.
Yeah.
Like,
did you know all these answers for us? Did you know all these?
I knew a lot of them at the beginning. That someone I knew a lot of the ones that you got wrong. Just put that, but there's like, how does the heart beat? I didn't know. Once I started thinking about it, I was like, I actually don't know. I just like it does it. Like you exactly what you thought of in your head. Yeah, it just beats. I don't know. But let's get the answers here. So what does the heart do? Jim said pumps blood through your body. It's a pump. Makes you fall in love. Keeps your body oxidated.
Spot on. That's pretty much its main function is it's the pump of the blood. But I do want to point out something that you were saying, who cares about this? Well,
I know you do, mate. That's your whole thing.
I do.
I don't want to shit on your occupation. But
No.
And I'm glad that people do care because there's doctors and stuff. And, I'm happy about that.
Do you know that technically death is defined as heart arrest, heart stopping, cardiac arrest? That's death.
It's when blood stops getting to the brain, right? Because your heart can stop for a bit, right? And you can.
It can, but when you go into cardiac arrest, that's basically where they're gonna call you dead.
Yeah, because you could be not breathing, but they could put you on oxygen, and as long as your heart's still pumping, you're still alive. But if your heart stops, then you're declared dead, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, when you really think about it, that's what kills everyone, right?
Yeah.
I mean. Because essentially, even if you have cancer or something else, eventually it's going to make your heart stop, your blood stop, and you're done.
So OJ didn't do anything wrong. She just had a bad heart.
I hate my life.
All right. Ask Jim where it's located, how big it is, and what shape is it. In your chest, man, off to the left, size of your fist, shaped like a rock from the Temple of Doom.
It's off to the right, isn't it?
Again, no,
you left. I got a good.
Spot on. Left side. Fit a little bit larger than your fist, and it is, we saw the picture on Kelly, but yeah, it's that kind of like, I don't even know how you describe it, like a bullet shape, kind of almost. I mean, I'm in Texas, so
Too soon.
Bullets.
All right.
Who was the first person to make it what we know in drawings when you go, that's a heart? Was that like?
So
was there some artist who first did that?
Yeah, so the whole concept of the Valentine's Day heart was actually the thought of what the heart looked like. They thought it was like this weird 3-chambered thing with it. So it's basically a historical rendition of the heart, but that's not what it looks like.
Yeah, then someone cut open a body and they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, but
Well,
It's just hideous.
it's much nicer than what the one that Kelly's got. Like I don't want a box of chocolates shaped like an actual heart.
Yeah, although that would be a good novelty item. Yeah. I love you. Here you go. Here's some organs. And it's all the way. I thought it was like just off center to the left, right?
Yeah, it pretty much, it's right actually on your center and then goes left. There are some people, a small population, that it's actually flipped. It goes the other way.
It's because they're so small, their chests are very tiny.
Oh, yeah.
The small population.
Yeah, okay. On average, how many times does your heart beat per day? Jim said 100,000 and it pumps 24 gallons of blood per day.
So first part, right on. And you're exactly right. It totally depends on your heart rate. So some people have really slow heart rates, some are high, but you're going to hover right around that 100,000. The blood though, not so close. It's closer to about.
But man, I got 100,000. You know how many numbers there are in the world?
I know, and you were doing some really fast math too. So
I don't know if it was fast, but I was doing it.
But
It cuts down to be fast.
You've got about 1.5 gallons of blood inside you. So liters, I guess, multiply that roughly by 3. So right, but your heart actually is pumping around 2,000 gallons
per day.
For the day.
Not
Circulating
me. I'm a little bit anemic.
Wait, so I'm just doing the math here. So in a year, your heart beats 36 million times. Unless you exercise a lot, then it's a little bit higher than that, I guess.
Is there a theory? There's a theory that your heart's only got a certain amount of beats in it. And so that's why I don't exercise, because I don't want the heart to go.
I think that was Trump's theory.
I think you're thinking of like eggs that a woman has.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think there's any science to back that up.
But there's no science to debunk it, though, is there?
I guess you got me there.
Wait, so if it's 36.5 million per year, so by the time you're 10, it's beat 360 million times. Wow, that's a lot. That was on my point.
Yeah.
There. How many chambers are in a human heart? And what are they called? He said 5, and he just said valves.
Yeah, no. So there's 4, and there are 2 atria or atrium, and there are 2 ventricles.
So when someone has a quadruple bypass, what does that mean? Because you're running out of holes.
Yeah. So it actually, the quadruple bypass doesn't really have anything to really do with the atrium and the ventricles. It actually means you're bypassing like 4 different blood vessels on the heart. So, you were talking about how the blood vessels get clogged up, give you a heart attack. If what can happen is you can literally have 4 major vessels that are blocked. And so they actually bypass them with grafts, like basically artificial blood vessels that go around them.
Right.
Wow.
Because that was my theory, because I've heard of people having quadruple bypasses. I thought you'd need an extra hole to be able to do that, to keep pumping it.
Yeah.
So give me another point.
Okay. You're killing it. Here, speaking of holes, why does the heart have holes in it before you are born? Democrats trying to abort you.
Close, but no. Basically, if you think about it, before you're born, your lungs aren't working. So if your lungs aren't working, you got to get the oxygen from somewhere. So you get that from the placenta and then the umbilical cord going through what becomes your belly button. And then that actually goes into the heart, and your heart has these holes in it. So the oxygen can mix in your blood and then go out. But the minute you're born, those holes actually start to close up because your lungs start working. But as we heard from Kelly, sometimes they don't. And you can still have one of these holes in your heart, which can either be fixed surgically. You can live with it the rest of your life. It depends on how severe it is.
Isn't blood squirting out of it though?
It's not really squirting out of it because the holes are actually inside the heart. So what it's doing is it's connecting 2 of those chambers that normally would be separate.
Okay.
Right. So does it actually have anything to do with your emotions? When we say someone's died of a broken heart or anything like that, is that because stress that's put onto your heart? Because people do die from broken hearts. People like Carrie Fisher's mother, she died a couple of days later. She was so devastated and her heart just packed in. There was
and also the guy with the school
The
shooting.
husband of the
husband of the teacher that got shot in Texas.
The next day he died, and so is that a thing?
So it's kind of a thing, meaning absolutely your mental state can have a major impact on your heart. I mean, that's kind of partially what I study. but it can go the other way. People that actually have heart failure have a really high increased risk of depression and high incidence of depression. So there is absolutely communication between the two. That's, I think, an area, like I said, I'm researching, but an area that's still pretty unclear exactly how it works.
In the times in my life where I feel like I've been heartbroken, and there was one time I thought I was really heartbroken, and now I look back on it like, what the fuck was that all about? But I remember having pain in my chest. I remember like physically feeling pain in my chest.
I've had that before.
Yeah.
With a relationship.
Yeah. And is that your heart, or is that just anxiety and everything sort of?
Yeah. So I'm going to guess it's going to be a lot more of kind of the anxiety, but we had a question on here about the vagus nerve. And that is actually, you didn't get that one right either. That one's not Las Vegas nerve. It's Vegas spelled with a U, but actually it's part of this autonomic, which is another fancy word for automatic nervous system. It's the nervous system that you don't control, right? Like I'm controlling my hands right now, but I'm not controlling my heart rate. And so that vagus nerve is part of that. And so with that, when you have this emotional state, like your heart's broken or you're depressed, that automatic system can get really out of whack. And so likely that's contributing a big component to why you might feel pain in your chest or something along those lines.
Why do some people have such a low, is it Bjorn Borg? Bjorn Borg, the tennis player? Was that his name?
Low. That's a tennis player, yeah.
Yeah, Bjorn Borg, right? So when he played McEnroe and everything like that, and he retired at a very young age, but they reckon that his heart never went above 50 or something like
Lance
that.
Armstrong.
Yeah, and his heart always stayed low and all that type of stuff. And he was like that ever since he was a kid. Is that just a bit of luck, or do you want that? Do you not want that?
No, I mean, I'm sure there's disorders that can do that, but in those situations, that's all conditioning. That's all exercise conditioning. Olympic runners, athletes all usually have pretty low resting heart rates. There is some evidence that you can, there's been evidence that certain types of people that meditate or use certain types of breathing techniques can actually control their heart rate and control that. But again, it all usually comes down to practice and conditioning more than anything else.
Yeah, I find if I take a deep breath and I just sort of take a moment, I can get my heartbeat to go down, but I don't think I'm controlling it. Sometimes you ever like when you fuck and then like afterwards you're laying there and you see like your chest like moving a little bit like that. I'm always like, that can't be good.
And your neck. It'll do in your neck.
I'm seeing my heart beat through my fucking chest.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
I got nothing on that one.
But just going back, I meant to ask you, wait, so the oxygen, and I don't know anything about babies either. The oxygen comes to the umbilical cord then?
Yep.
The baby.
Yep. Because like I said, everything has to come really through the umbilical cord and the placenta, because you don't eat and you're not breathing. So, but the baby needs everything that you need essentially. And so it has to come through that direction.
Got it. All right. What are the layers of the heart wall called? Jim said aorta.
No, the aorta is a big blood vessel leaving the heart, but the layers they're fancy words, but they're endocardium, myocardium, epicardium, pericardium. Yeah. So the cardium's just the heart, and then it's just the different layers of them.
Keeping up with the cardiums.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good show. Yeah, and then I asked what the pericardium is. So why did I ask what the pericardium is? That's a different one. They're all parts of the layers.
Yeah, so you got that right. The pericardium is the outer layer, but really what it is it's essentially like a lubricating sleeve. So if you think about the heart's moving all day constantly, it generates a lot of friction. Yeah. So it actually has this layer of fluid outside that the pericardium holds it, and that keeps it lubricated and the friction down.
So it's like the opposite of the supercrust, Jim.
Do you believe that the heart has any intelligence that science hasn't figured out yet? Because I don't believe all this mumbo jumbo, but I've read stories, I've seen stories of people who have had heart transplants and all of a sudden they could speak a different language, or they felt connected to the, you know what I mean? Or is that stuff just bumpkin, or like, you know what I'm saying? Because there's this theory that the brain isn't doing all the intelligence, that the other organs are carrying a bit of the weight that we don't know about. Is that just a load of bullshit?
So I'll tell you this. The whole language thing, that's a bit of a stretch, but I can tell you, we can do some pretty interesting things in like rodents. Like a classic experiment is if you take say like the
Your
immune
dick out
system.
and
Yep. You take the immune system from like an animal that has depression and put it into another animal. That animal can actually get depressed. So there's elements of that, but to say something like a heart gave me a new language or memories, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
All right. So if I die in a car accident, they take my heart, they give it to somebody else. Would they be funnier or less funny if you're a critic of mine?
No, it's your funny bone. That's where that comes from.
You like already took the joke right out of there. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to have much of an impact.
The thing about the depression and the immune system, though, that could be because you just got your immune system replaced, though. The experiment should be, you should take the immune system of someone that's happy and put it into another animal and see if they're happy, I think.
Well, also, I would guess, too, because when your body's not working properly, like, when I had all the issues with my organs failing, essentially, it's like your body isn't working properly. And so nothing works right. And so that affects everything. And it like your body hurts and you feel more lethargic, which are all things that then could make you feel shitty or depressed.
Absolutely. Right. And especially if you get a heart transplant and you've been living with a failing heart for so long that you just feel like absolute shit. And then you get a new heart and now you're feeling great. You could think like, wow, this heart brought me all this extra, more than it's actually doing. Right.
Right. So if you got a racist, right, and they're having heart failure and then they get the heart of a race that they didn't like put into them, could they be less racist? And they don't know.
The storyline of Get Out.
They reject the heart. Screw that.
The cure to racism is a heart transplant from another race.
Listen to Kelly Blackheart there.
What system is the heart part of? Jim said vascular.
Close. It's cardiovascular system. You just forgot the heart part.
I've never done cardio.
Yeah.
You've only done vascular?
Yeah, I only do vascular.
What's vascular? What is vascular?
Just laying down. Thinking about
I gotta
it.
do vascular workout, guys.
That's called a vertical. That's called vertical, not vascular.
What are arteries? Jim said the bit that fills up with fat to give you heart attacks. Veins, smaller things that you can see, branches, blood vessels of the skin.
Yeah, so the arteries, the trunks, the veins are the branches.
Nope. So
I think that's what it
sounded good though.
Yeah, it sounded good, but arteries.
Right.
Basically, this is a simple way. Arteries go away from the heart, so they usually carry oxygenated blood away to the rest of your body. Veins go back to your heart, and then capillaries is pretty much where the two meet. And they actually are really, really microscopic. And that's where they, oxygen and all the nutrients and everything diffuse in the tissues. But yep, arteries away, veins back.
All right. So I was very close.
Yeah. That's why our veins really blue. I know when they're always like like when you see like a human body diagram, it's like veins are blue because they're not supposed to have oxygen in them or something like that. Or
yeah. So that's, it's kind of funny that basically wives' tale or whatever this, has gone on for so long. No, I mean, they're blue because of how they look through usually white skin, right? It's the light through white skin that makes them blue. But, I was actually taught.
So white people have blue veins, and what do the rest of them have?
Yeah, we all have red veins, basically. So I was actually taught this in school. I remember learning this and thinking that, wow, I had a pretty shit education apparently, because essentially I was taught that if blood doesn't have oxygen, it's blue, and that's what makes your veins blue. Yeah. And that's why if you cut yourself, it turns red right away because it hits oxygen, and it's just garbage. Basically, yeah, blood is red, and blood without oxygen is dark red.
Do all animals have red blood?
Oh, we had an episode recently where we found out one did.
No. And I mean, I'd say the majority do. And that's just because of what blood is made up of. That's what gives it the red color is the iron. But there's tons of little critters out there.
Squids
have blue
right?
blood.
Squids. And then there's also a type of crab, I think, that also has blue blood and whatnot. And again, it's all about the metal in it that gives it the color.
And rich people have blue blood.
Yeah.
How does a heart beat? Jim said hot chicks.
Yeah. You get a hot chick walking by, man.
So this one blows people's mind. This one's usually what a lot of people don't know. So the heart actually beats all on its own, meaning, in fact, if I take a heart out of a human body and I take all those little individual heart cells and put them onto a dish, they'll all actually beat by themselves. The key is that they beat independently of one another when they're on a dish. But in your heart, they're synchronized with you. What you have is a pacemaker on the inside. It's called a node. And that synchronizes them so they all contract at the same time. But naturally, they just contract. It's part of being a heart cell.
Whoa. It's like a conductor of an orchestra, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's putting them all in the same synchronous beat cycle.
But what's making them beat? Like, isn't there electricity or something? That's what's something
bang, and who's
God, obviously.
I mean, that goes really deep, but it basically is just this cyclical pattern of contraction and relaxation that's just basically programmed into those cells.
Wow.
What animal has the biggest heart?
A whale?
No, wrong.
What's the answer?
It's a rabbit because they're really giving and nice.
Okay.
I mean, you made me think about that one.
I don't know.
I think it'd be the whale.
This says blue whale.
Blue whale. There we go.
It's a 78 foot. That cannot be right.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, it probably is.
Yeah. It says a blue whale. It is. Yeah. Oh no, it was extracted from a 78-foot blue whale. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
It weighed 440 pounds or 199 kilograms, and it measured 5 feet from the top of the aorta to the bottom of the lowest chamber. There you go. Fun fact. What is a cardiac cycle? Jim said, how long it takes the blood to go all the way through the body and back to your heart?
That was a good guess. It's basically just one beat to the next beat. That's a cardiac cycle. Yep.
Okay. And then
you can't even say that in the amount of time it takes to do it.
Yeah.
Well, if you're Lance Armstrong, you can.
When does a human heart start beating? Jim said 3 weeks after conception.
That's really good because usually the rule of thumb is around 6 weeks. That's what usually people say. They go in, get an ultrasound at 6 weeks. But there is evidence it actually starts earlier than that, usually around somewhere 3 to 4 weeks. Depends on which reference you're citing, I guess.
So before that, just sitting there with just blood sitting in there, getting all funky.
So if you think about it, you're so small that you actually just the surrounding environment is giving you what you need, your oxygen and your nutrients, right? But once you get big enough, you need something on the inside to actually pump the nutrients and oxygen around. And so that's why that heart develops pretty early to get that going.
Is there anything to it though that they when you're pregnant they say that you're like 6 weeks along because they're just guessing? It's based on the date of your last period and stuff like that. So it's it's probably in that range, but some people have like they've got an earlier or they're 3 weeks pregnant because they're guessing based on the last period. Yeah,
absolutely. It's very, I'm not an OBGYN, but it is very tricky to know exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be in that window of a couple
right.
Weeks,
there's a window.
Those are always hard to figure out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then what is the vagus nerve? We talked about that.
Yep.
What is an electrocardiogram or EKG? Jim said it's when you go clear. Boof.
No, I wish that's really cool, but it's not. The EKG is basically the thing you see on all the TV shows that like go bloop, bloop, beep, bloop, bloop, and then it like when you die it flatlines. That's all that's really doing is how we talked about
just monitoring your pulse, right?
Not really. It's actually measuring those electrical impulses that synchronize the heart. Remember the heartbeat? It sends all that electricity down it, and those are actually measuring that electrical impulse. And so that's why they put all those little leads on your chest to measure that.
Oh. I always forget one when they take it off. I just had a heart stress test on my thing, and they put them all on you, and then you get home and there's 2 on you.
Wait, yeah, Forrest, tell us about that. You were saying the other day that you're just topless on a treadmill.
Yeah, no, I had started getting like pains here near where my heart was, but not like harsh pain. Like if on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like 2 or 3, but it was like sore, and then the doctor was like, it's probably muscle stuff. I was playing a lot more golf then or whatever, but still he was like, if you want to feel better, just go to a cardiologist and get checked out. You're old. So I went there and I went in the waiting room and I was the youngest by 40 years. And that way I walked in and they were like, "Are you here to pick somebody up?" I was like, "I'm getting a stress test on my heart. I'm fat. Can't you see?" And so I go in there and then there's just two women chatting the whole time, like, "Take your shirt off." And then I just have to take my shirt off and they stick all these things on there and they put all these wires on me. And I'm like wearing a band around my, like for breathing and stuff. And then I'm just sitting there shirtless with like, it's cold, shirtless with all this stuff stuck on me for like 40 minutes, just sitting in there and have the door open. So people were walking
and
by.
then all
like,
of a sudden a woman's rubbing his feet while he's eating a stuffed sandwich.
No, but I wanted him to close the door. I'm like, "Can you close the door?"
That's the stress test right there.
And then you get on a treadmill, and in front of the treadmill, they had this like some wallpaper of a forest, like you were going to be running through the forest.
They just had a hamburger on a stick. The forest kept chasing it.
And then a doctor comes in and just stands there and watches you and smokes a cigarette. Wait, no, he didn't smoke. But and then he said my heart was good. And then they did a sonogram on my heart too. They did put a bunch of jelly in my heart and they looked at it to to see the size he said, "Everything's good." He said, "Come back in 6 months." He wants me to lose 24 pounds the next 6 months.
He
looked at Forrest and he said, "Come back in a year." And then he looked at him and gave him, actually 6 months.
Can you be here next week? But I guess he said everything was good and stuff. But even still, sometimes I get little aches like right here. Like I had one yesterday and it was probably because of this podcast. So I was thinking about it doing the heart, but I had a little ache here and it's not hard. It doesn't really hurt, but it just, your brain, as you get older, you're like, well, there's a pain near my heart. So I guess I'm dying, you know?
Man, we're going to play this recording when you have a heart attack. I'm going to play the shit out of this. I'm going to feel bad about joking about it now.
Yeah. We'll edit that part out. What is the sinus rhythm? Jim said heavy breathing, similar to the Scatman song.
No. So that internal pacemaker is actually called the sinoatrial node. So basically, it's just when you have a normal everyday heart rhythm, that's called sinus rhythm because it's coming from that internal pacemaker and everything's good.
Does that have anything to do with the sinuses in your nose?
No.
Okay.
Fucking hell, you said nothing the whole podcast. And then you came up with, does that have anything to do with the sinuses?
Just making sure. I'm just making sure the nose isn't connected to the heart.
I thought the sinuses were up in your like temples anyways.
Well, it's in the face.
Have you ever heard of the clock ticking heart like my nana? That's a real thing.
Well, you taught me about it. I'm assuming she must have had either a mechanical valve in there that was clicking every time the heart beat, or she had some type of pacemaker implanted.
No, it was a mechanical valve.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing that you could hear outside of her body.
Oh, you could hear it. She'd be asleep and snore, tick, snore, tick.
Wow, so she must have just like, it must have to be something she just didn't hear after a while.
She didn't hear it after a while, but it's like, you could hear her. It was shuffling about. Tick, tick.
How should a healthy heart sound? Jim said, "Bro," we did a little American Jim bro thing. But then he goes, boom. And then what makes he sound? And he said, "The heart," yelled at me. He said, "The heart, the pump, the aorta."
Yelled at him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the reason this guy has a heart attack. It was from Jim yelling.
Yeah.
So close. It actually, the technical terms, and I'm not kidding you. The technical is lub dub. Lub dub. Right? And
lub dub.
I love that type of music. Good
and
type of bills.
And all that the sound is the valves closing. So the valves are basically like doors. So the blood goes one way and then they shut. So blood doesn't go the wrong way. And that shutting of the valve is the bub. And that's basically, you're hearing the valve shut and it should go lub dub, lub dub, lub dub.
So when you're exercising,
yeah, it goes a lot faster. If you have a broken valve or something, you can get a heart murmur, which is when the valves don't close properly or you have something going wrong.
And so that's just the sound that make, and then and that's how it should sound as love dub.
Yep.
What would an unhealthy sound of a heart?
Oh my God. You could, I mean,
sorry.
I mean, there are people that literally do like 4-year cardiology residencies to learn all the different heart sounds. I mean, it's crazy. Those guys are amazing what they can hear in your heart. But yeah, I mean, skipped beats, more lubs and more dubs, it just depends on.
If it sounds like a smashed window.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say if it sounds like Smash Mouth. Then I was
9 Inch Nails. That's a bad one. Okay. I can't do a 9 Inch Nails impression. Right to us. Leave a comment below. Examples of cardiovascular diseases and what causes them. Jim said angina causes heart attack, clogged arteries. Betty Bell was a crocodile from Peter Pan. I don't remember what that was. Heart disease,
Well,
smoking.
Nana had a ticking heart like the crocodile
Yeah.
from Peter Pan.
I'm sorry.
My
yeah.
Nana's name was Betty Bell.
Okay, sorry. It was a long time ago.
I'm a good note taker.
Yeah. Cancer of the heart. So what are, like, maybe we can just talk about cardiovascular diseases, what causes them. And you mentioned PTSD and heart disease is something you study.
Who has, quick question, who has a better heart, man or woman? Because, men seem to have more heart attacks.
The Zoom didn't freeze. I just shut
Oh,
up.
yeah. No, but like,
He knows
I'm not
better.
going to get into different. I'm not going to get into different races or anything like that. But do men have stronger hearts than women, or do women have strong? Because women live longer, right? Because they don't work as hard, right? We can all agree on that they never have to do any manual labor, and they complain about that, and that makes them live forever,
Such a piece of shit.
right?
that
And so
so cardiovascular disease.
So obviously nagging makes your heart stronger. Can you confirm that nagging makes your heart stronger? I'll take your silence as a yes.
Nope.
But I'll change it. The bigger people with testicles have stronger hearts than people without testicles. You won't get in trouble there.
So I'll answer this better. So bigger people, regardless of gender or anything, have stronger hearts because they have to push more blood further, right? So,
Kelly's like 6'2". She's over the moon with this answer. She's like,
there is a limit. There's a limit to the point where you can actually strain your heart so it can't do it. That's why obviously obesity is not great, because it can put a big strain on your heart.
But you know what? When basketball players age terribly, and it's like when you see a basketball player, someone that's like 6'8", 6'9", I feel because their heart must work so much harder.
They get joint problems, don't they?
Yeah, but I think everything goes because they're so big that their body wears down quicker. Sometimes you'll see a basketball player and he's only been retired 6 years, and you're like, holy shit, you look terrible. Like,
what's the best size to have a heart?
What size of a person?
Yeah, where you go, that's a good heart size.
5'10". That's me. Please.
I mean, I'm going to say it depends on the heart to body ratio, if that makes sense, right?
That one. All right.
Because you could be a tiny person, and if you have a really big heart that's really strong, well, that's excellent. But you could put that heart in a bigger person, it might not be strong enough. So it's got to be unfortunately, it's kind of a cop-out answer, but it's definitely a relative ratio.
Over the course of my life, I've had a lot of people call me a heartless bastard. Is that a thing?
It is. I don't think it means you lack an actual heart, but it is a thing.
I think you have a good heart, Jim. I know that's one thing you got a good.
I got
You
a nice heart.
Yeah, your liver. I don't know.
Yeah.
So cardiovascular diseses. Let's talk about some fun stuff here. All right.
So you were talking. So you had your chest pain, right? And so you were. So Jeff was right on. The doctors were likely thinking you were having angina, however you want to pronounce it. And what that is that's basically the predecessor to a heart attack.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It basically means that your heart, like your arteries are somewhat clogged,
or they're basically that'd be possible.
Yeah. And then you could get this, intermittent chest pain. And so what they want to do is they want to basically stress you out to see if it gets worse. And if it does, that's a pretty good sign you're on your way to a heart attack. But since you didn't, that's why they probably said just muscle, because it didn't get worse.
Now,
so they were testing to see if that's what it was. So they were eliminating. They were saying it's either muscle or angina. So I can just keep eating cheesesteaks.
I'll tell you what happened when Forrest left. The nurse went to the doctor. Why did you tell him that? Let him enjoy his last few days.
That's negligence. I feel like that's malpractice. Yeah.
There's no reason to upset him.
What can you do to unclog your arteries?
Just one thing. Okay, so is it your left arm that goes numb before a heart attack? Your left arm. So I had a friend who recently died of a heart attack, a comic, and he was working on the cruise ships, and he was joking about it on stage. He was like, "Oh, my left arm isn't working. I'm not having a heart attack that night. No good."
Yeah.
So, yeah. He was joking about it hours before. He was joking about it.
When you have a heart attack, it's clogged arteries always, right? Is that
pretty much. That's going to be the vast majority of the cause of heart attack.
I'm thinking I've clogged my arteries with some of my diet So how do I unclog my arteries?
Drano.
Both my grandfathers,
Drano.
one of my grandfathers died of a heart attack in his 50s when my father was like 14 years old.
I'm trying to find how to unclog my arteries.
I know, we're getting to that. It's all in the same field. And my other grandfather died in his early 60s of a heart attack. When am I going to die of a heart attack?
How's that getting to it?
He's a heart doctor and a psych.
Jim and I would like to unclog our arteries. How do we do that?
How do we do it? Is it like docking?
No, it's not.
It's sad that you know what that is, though. Someone let it slip. You could have just played dumb there and looked at me weirdly, you know. Instead, you went, "Is it Tuesday already?"
No boats involved here.
Kale. Will Kale do it?
No. So basically, if your arteries are already clogged, likely they're not going to get any better. You can prevent them from getting worse by, of course, you know what I'm going to say, diet, exercise, and there's medications that can lower that too. But unfortunately, once they get to a certain level, you're kind of stuck there. Now, if you have a heart attack, right? If you actually have a legitimate heart attack, they often will go in and they'll actually reinflate the vessel and put in like a stent, which is basically just like a metal mesh that keeps it open so that, you're not clogged anymore and the blood can get through. But that's a significant procedure. So you're not just going into your doctor and be like, hey, put a stent in me so I can eat cheeseburgers, right?
Another argument for the body being designed poorly.
I think my mother had a stent in her heart, I think.
But I mean, if they had a heart attack, likely they did.
But how would they know my arteries are clogged? By the stress test, right?
That's an early way to say that they're getting clogged. And then if you go in and if you go to the hospital with a heart attack, they'll actually image them. They'll put like a radioactive dye into your heart and they'll see if there's a blockage. Like they'll see if it can get through or not. And then they say, oh, well, that one's clogged. We got to open that one up.
Okay. So to paraphrase, Forrest, there's nothing you can do.
No, well, I think there is because I had the stress test and they said everything looks good. So what I should do is get in shape and eat better now because I probably am doing okay. I'm not saying great, but okay, like as far as that is.
Yeah, you can in theory,
tomorrow, I'm starting tomorrow.
You can slow it down, right? You can slow the process significantly with healthy lifestyle.
Also, how long do you really want to live?
I mean, I don't want to talk about that in public, but I've talked about it before. I've got a vision board. 65.
65 is your vision board?
I mean, I don't have kids. I'm not married.
No, I just...
What am I, stick around and be wise?
Optimistic.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim just thought that was
Wow, okay.
Oh,
Good
right.
for you.
50.
Good for you, Forrest.
I'll stop saving that money for the funeral then.
Wait a couple years. I got some in crypto. Don't worry about it. So
just when you do die, don't make me a pallbearer. Just a nice gesture.
I'm getting in shape starting tomorrow. Angina, and then what was
Have
the
you
other?
ever been a pallbearer? It sucks, man.
Yeah, you don't want to be that.
Those boxes are fucking heavy, dude.
And especially if it's like an older person, then a lot of their friends are old. And I'm always like, that looks heavy for those
I think
guys.
someone carried my mother's box in or something like that, and the box is like 250, and then like she was 300.
It's heavy.
It's a heavy ass fucking thing to make people do.
It's always 6 divided by that number. So if you're
and you're meant to just balance it on your shoulders, what a fucking bum deal that is. Like at fucking Bruce Lee's pallbearers were someone I know, George Lazenby was a pallbearer, right? The James Bond, and but then I believe, and I think I know this because I interviewed him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right, was a pallbearer.
That doesn't even make sense. He's way too tall to be a pallbearer.
You can't all do the shoulders like that. Steve McQueen's off to the side, fucking trying to act taller.
That's the best part about being tall.
Bruce Lee would have been all scratched down the end of the coffin because it would have been on a tilt.
Do you know that joke about when the pallbearers and they have the coffin and the woman comes out?
No,
I heard Jay Leno tell it. It's like
tell the joke.
I might not get it, but okay. There's a funeral. They're in this big church, and then and they're carrying the casket to the car to go to the cemetery, and the pallbearers are carrying it, and then one of them gets too close to like one of the pews and it bumps it a little bit. And then all of a sudden the casket flies open and woman jumps up and she's alive. And everyone's like, what? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. Everything's great. And everyone's like amazed and like, holy cow, how could this be? And she ends up being healthy and she ends up living like another 15 years, amazing. But then she eventually dies again. And then they're back at her funeral again. And The same thing. The pallbearers are bringing the casket out, and then the husband's like, "Hey, watch the corner there." So watch the corner. There you go. Messed it up at the end. All right. So heart attacks. Anything else? The heart? No, is that it?
Oh, I mean,
so that's everything. So you spent your whole life learning this, and we did it in 45 minutes.
I meant cardiovascular diseases. You were talking about heart disease and PTSD. Maybe you can talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of different cardiovascular diseases, but yeah, no, my research focuses pretty much on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and cardiovascular disease, because for some reason, and it's still, unclear, people that have gone through these horrible traumas have this huge elevated risk for cardiovascular disease. And now I know what you're thinking, because I get this question a lot. They say, well, people go, well, of course they do. They're smoking, they're drinking, they're, unhealthy lifestyles, go along with people that maybe have experienced trauma, but that's not true. Like, that's actually been factored out, looked into, explored, and there's still this risk. So it kind of goes back to this whole idea of, something's going on between the brain and the rest of the body. And when one goes out of whack, it sends the whole thing out of into a spiral.
Is it bad then for because I would assume that if you have PTSD, there's these triggering events that would make your heart race and make you have all these stress and anxiety type things that would stress your heart out. Is your heart beating faster more often? Is that innately bad for the heart, or?
Yeah. So PTSD is kind of this heightened state of anxiety and fear. And so with that comes this heightened heart rate and more, workload on your cardiovascular system, which is probably a likely contributor to why there is that connection.
So Johnny Depp said that he had PTSD from the relationship, and then Amber heard him say that, and she said that she had it as well. So here's the scientific: whichever one of them dies first wins the case.
Oh yeah,
great!
It's like the Salem witch trial. Whichever one drowns, yeah. She wasn't a witch. Yeah. He wasn't a witch. Here's the problem I have with heart attacks. Okay,
good. What's your take?
Let us know.
Here's the problem.
Yeah. No, this is the problem this is the problem that Forrest has with heart attacks.
I think everybody
has.
What
if someone has one near you and you got to help out? No.
I think everyone would have this same gripe. All right. I don't want to die of a heart attack. I don't think anyone does.
No, I do.
Okay. But if
no, seriously though.
You want to go out fast?
I don't want to die of cancer or anything. I'd like to die old of a heart attack.
In his sleep. Like Ray Liotta just died in his sleep.
Yeah, but that's a heart attack.
Okay. Probably.
They always are. I heard that the police don't even, when you have a heart attack, they always say that they're in bed. They go, oh, they died in bed. But most heart attacks, you go, and you crawl to the bathroom and you shit yourself a bit, and then the cops just put you back into bed.
That's the problem. Okay, so here's my thing. If no one wants to die of a heart attack, but I think the worst part in my brain is it seems painful, right? So why can't heart attacks be not painful? You're still going to die.
Yeah, this is a good point.
But the heart should be like, hey, you're about to die. Let me give you some dopamine or something.
That's your problem with all pain. I always like, I had the flu the other day. I had it for about 10 days. I've just gotten over it, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like really sick for a couple of days. And I thought to myself, what's the fucking point of this? If you're not going to kill me, fuck off.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? You should just be sick once and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to.
Wait, was that head cold the flu?
Well, I don't know. I had a cold. I had a bad cold.
Yeah, I had a bad COVID.
Yeah, I didn't have COVID. I had a cold.
Okay.
I had a cold. You had it a little bit. You're fine.
Because I had
we
it
call
as well.
everything not COVID at this point.
Anyway, so you have a cold and then you get sick. I've always thought that and people say, oh, it's pain is a way of your body telling you that something's wrong. That's what they always tell you. Pain's a way of your body telling you something's wrong. Well, why make it painful?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why can't I be walking along the street, cum my pants, and go, I've got chicken pox?
Well,
because it would make you want chicken pox again.
Yeah. You need something to deter you.
That's why you're a doctor, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'm with you. But the heart attack's going to kill you. So the heart attack shouldn't be painful.
That's the whole thing. If you get dopamines from it, people who have heart attacks and they live, people try to get like Flatliners, the movie with Keith Sutherland, and they try to kill themselves a little bit for the dopamines.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Maybe.
But the idea is the heart attack's like you're dying, right? But before that, the pain can, in theory, stop you from doing what you're doing that's stressing your heart.
Yeah, it makes you call the ambulance.
It's
right?
true. Yeah.
Have you ever wondered, like, why do you faint and pass out? Oftentimes, one of the reasons that is because then your body goes flat and the blood can get to your head easier than going against gravity.
See, Forrest, it's not because I had a belt around my neck in my closet.
That's right.
Sorry.
Also, it has to be super painful because most people don't go to the doctor if things are minor. Like I don't go unless. Yeah, but I don't go unless I truly think I'm dying. Like,
sometimes you have indigestion though that's so bad you think, oh, here it is, it's coming.
I had that with McDonald's at 1 a.m. the other night. I thought I was going to die.
I had indigestion so bad I didn't sleep the whole night. I was just, I had to cancel a meeting. This is like 15 years ago, and I was like, that's the end of me.
I've talked about in this podcast. I called I thought I was having a heart attack, and it turned out it was anxiety, and the firefighters showed up, and they knew I wasn't. They knew it, and I knew that they knew it. And then
you were embarrassed.
And then they always go to the restaurant literally next to my house. So I see them all the time. Like, hey guys, doing good. Everything's good. Doing a lot of meditating.
I bet you if you were a hot chick, they would have checked on you a bit more.
Oh yeah, sure. They would have. They were like, "Do you want to go to the hospital?" I was like, "No."
They just showed up and went, "You're all right, buddy." You just had like fast food rappers around you. You're going, I don't know what's happened, but if you're a hot chick in lingerie, they would have gone, let me just check your chest here.
Yeah. There was one other question I was going to ask, but I think, we should ask that since this is the times we live in. COVID and heart disease. I know there's still studies being done. Is there anything you can say about that? Or is it something that we don't know enough about yet or what?
I definitely don't think we know a lot about it, but there is definitely a link. And the reason why is the little protein that COVID uses to get into your body, basically, that is actually really prevalent in your heart. And your cardiovascular system. And so that's basically why there's definitely a link to the cardiovascular system in COVID, but the exact specifics, it's definitely to know, especially for the long-term effects of COVID. We have no clue.
And that's why when people are like, I'm just going to get it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid it at all.
Or if you're going to get it, be vaccinated where the effects are going to be lessened or something. But it's just like, you don't want it.
You don't want to roll the dice on that one.
Yeah. All right. This is part of our show called Dinner Party Facts. We ask our guests to give us a fact about the subject that they use to impress people at a dinner party, bar, something. You had like a quick one and then a little bit of a long one, right? I remember we talked about it.
Oh, I don't know about the quick one.
Oh, wasn't something about we talked about the way the blood, I think we were talking about the hole in the heart, but the blood goes one way and then
I think we already.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that. Basically, like when you're, in the womb, the blood goes a different way because of the holes in the heart.
Oh, that's right.
But
in Australia, it goes a different way again, right?
Yeah, that's right. The other one gets, it's great for a dinner party if you really want to be like existential. So basically, here's the importance of the heart. You didn't care about it, but I'm hoping that I can get you to care about it here. So everything in the world wants to fall apart. Okay. So think about this for a second. If you take a glass of water and you put a drop of food coloring in, what ultimately happens? It colors the whole glass that color, right? Because everything wants to get away and fall apart and diffuse away. But if that's the case, which it is, why are you together? Why are you one person? Why aren't you falling apart?
I'm full apart every day.
He is falling apart.
But the idea is because, when you die, you do fall apart, right? You decompose and break down into all these little elements. But when you're alive, you stay together. And there's one reason for that. And that is literally energy. You consume from the environment. You eat food, you breathe in oxygen, and all that has to go through your heart and blood to keep you in one piece together. And basically, the day you are done, your heart stops beating, and you aren't taking in that energy and making that energy, you start to fall apart, just like everything else in the world.
Oh.
So that is why your heart is super important, because it basically keeps you in one piece.
Right. So to summarize, men have weaker hearts because we work harder.
That's the take-home message for today.
I don't know about that.
You can find Dr. Adam Case on Twitter at Case Redox Lab. And again, if you want to contribute to a good charity, Camp Hope for combat veterans with PTSD is ptsdusa.org/ Camp-Hope, and also the Corgi Connection of Kansas Dog Rescue. CorgiConnection.com for that. Thanks for being here, Dr.
Also
Adam Case.
worth mentioning, I found him because I was looking for other scientists on Skype a Scientist.
Yeah,
So
they're our friends.
Yes. So
Yeah, it's a
if
great
you have
organization.
classroom or children that you want to teach more about this, you can hit him up there too.
Pro
Yeah,
science.
happy to do it.
Well, thank you, Doctor. That was very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever at a party and you see someone crying in the corner and they're like, I'm falling apart. God, I know about that. And walk away. Good night, Australia.
Have a sandwich.